Wrapping up, swimming and diving just had their Horizon League championships over the course of this week at the IU Auditorium. The indoor track and field season is about to end for IU Indy. In fact, Justin Amburgy is probably getting on a bus probably this afternoon to go to Youngstown, Ohio for championships that take place this weekend, and he joins us now. Coach, good to see you. How you doing?
Good to see you as well. Yep, definitely excited for conference.
Road trip today, or does it start tomorrow for you?
Tomorrow, bright and early, 8 a.m.
You guys have the luxury of having such a wonderful facility, and we know it well in ISC. You and I were talking about it before we hit the airwaves. You now get to compete for a good chunk of January and February at the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Fall Creek Pavilion. While it's not on campus, it's 4 miles away. What's it like having that in your backyard?
Oh, it's definitely a huge advantage. Being able to sleep in your own bed as an athlete and then just drive up 10, 15 minutes away from campus to have one of the best facilities in the United States. It's definitely a huge advantage for our team.
How has the first, again, and for those that don't follow it, January, February is indoor track and field season. Take a bit of a gap. Then you get to the middle of March, and it's outdoor season all the way through the Horizon League Championships, which are on Mother's Day weekend. How have these last couple of months treated you and your team so far?
Yeah, the past couple of months have been very promising. Very excited about our mid-distance squad. This is probably the best mid-distance team we've had since the history of our program, in the 800 and mile. And then there's a lot of potential there in the 3K, 5K to score some points at conference as well.
There was a time where basically this was a distance-only program. Is that sort of change? What do you now focus on from a track and field standpoint?
Yeah, for sure. We're still distance only. We're just now starting to grow into mid-distance as well. Beforehand, obviously, we had a lot of strong 3K, 5K, 10K runners. But now with the recruiting class we had 2 years ago, last year, this upcoming year, we're really starting to dip down into the 800 and then mile/1500 for outdoors.
Is part of that because you've got a facility like this in your backyard where you can focus on? What's kind of the reason for that change?
It definitely helps. A lot of the guys in the recruiting class we had 2 years ago, they were kind of a jack of all trades. They can run the 5K, 10K, and cross, but then at the same time, they can go down to the 800, and that was really their forte in high school. Having that facility down the road definitely helps for workouts, though, being able to get a lot more speed as opposed to a flat indoor track.
Because maybe you're not focusing on the sprinters as much, does that mean you're really not kind of competing for a conference championship this weekend, or do you think you can score enough points where you can be a factor in that in the Horizon League?
Yeah, as a team, we're not really in the championship hunt. It's pretty much Youngstown every year that's going to take home the team title. However, in those distance events, we're always trying to bring home as many individual titles as well as the distance medley relay. This year, I think we got a really solid shot to put ourselves in a good spot for the 800 mile as well as distance medley titles.
All right, give me some of the key guys that we should be knowing about heading into this weekend's conference meet.
Yeah, of course. In the 800, we have the top seed, Joey Ashman. I'm sure you're very familiar with him. He has our school records, broke the school record pretty much every single race he's run this year. And his current seed time, 150.49, is actually a Horizon League record if he would run it at the championships. So we're excited for him. In the mile, our school record got broke twice by Luke Chappelle and Riley Nixon. Both ran 4:07 with Ashman right behind at 4:08 at the fairgrounds. And then we also broke our DMR school record as well. So kind of that mid-distance crew again is really what we're looking to highlight this weekend at conference.
All right, so I know there's an indoor NCAA championship. How many of your guys you think may qualify? Is that potentially going to happen during the month of March?
To be honest, making the indoor championships is really hard. It's
Yeah.
easier to make the Olympic trials teams in a lot of countries compared to NCAA indoors. Only 16 get to go to nationals, which
Yeah.
is very competitive.
And frankly, that international influence is part of that as well.
For
And
sure.
so hence the Olympic reference. So once you get done with the end of February, you've got 3 weeks until your first outdoor competition. That's over at Miami of Ohio. A day off, 2 days off, a little bit of time, or is it immediately you flip the switch and you're heading outdoors come heck or high water weather-wise?
Yeah, we'll give the guys a day or two off. That bus ride home from Youngstown's definitely a little bit of a drive, 6 hours. But after that, we got 3 weeks till our Rust Buster at Miami, and then we got some big meets this year at WashU, Wake Forest, and then Louisville as well.
All right, so is it a similar outlook in terms of competing for a league championship in outdoor as it is to indoor, or does that mix up once you get to the outdoor portion of the schedule?
Yeah, outdoor is very similar to indoor. There's just a couple more events that we compete in. The 10K is an event that's not in indoors, obviously, as well as the 3K steeplechase. So there's a couple more opportunities for us to earn those individual titles on the distance side, but pretty much Youngstown runs the conference for indoor and outdoor.
So again, it's really with what you do from a cross-country, track and field, indoor-outdoor standpoint, it's almost like you have 3 distinct seasons, right?
Yep, 3 seasons. Obviously, we're very competitive in cross country. The goal is always to win a Horizon League title each fall in cross country, and then just get those titles or get those individual wins on the track side. Kind of helps set up for cross country season.
Justin, you may have touched on some of these names already, but let's also talk about this. Seniors, those that you know are going to be competing for a last time this spring semester who are some of the key ones that you think can have a great finishing kick, pardon the play on words, to their careers here at IU Indy?
Yeah, we actually don't have many seniors that are graduating this year. We only have two, Matt Mitch and Nolan King. Matt, he's a sixth-year senior. He's coming back from injury from cross season. He'll be looking to do the 10K this year, outdoor season. And then Nolan King, he is racing the 3K this weekend, and he's one of our top returners in the steeplechase this year. So I think both of them are excited to kind of get one last shot at outdoor track before finally hanging it up and hitting the roads maybe.
Justin Amburgy, again, men's cross-country coach and men's track and field coach, who spans both the indoor and outdoor part of the season. The indoor portion wraps up this weekend at Youngstown. You can catch that action on ESPN+. They're competing for Horizon League Championship. The outdoor part of the season starts March 20th, and again, then they'll have their championships from an outdoor standpoint on Mother's Day weekend. That, too, can be seen on ESPN+. Justin, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Pleasure as always.
All right, Justin, we'll stay right there for a second. First of all, let me thank a couple of great sponsors. We are live at Jags Crossing, as we have been throughout the course of this season. One more show coming up on Wednesday, March 11th, to wrap up the academic year for us. It's not possible without great sponsors like KSM, like KeyBank, and like folks at your Central Indiana Ford dealers, not to mention a wonderful technical crew behind the scenes with the ISC Sports Network. Golf coach Jamie Broce will join us next as you're watching the IU Indy Coaches Show live from Jags Crossing right here on the ISC Sports.
Rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever. When we ride, we can ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride. We gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever. When we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride. We gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle. Like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
We gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever. When we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride. We gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever. When we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride. We gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
Welcome back on the IU Indy Coaches Show, and today is a day. It'd be a little bit chilly. You can go out and play some golf today, and I bring that up, of course, on purpose. And Jamie Broce, the men's and women's golf coach, joins us here on the program, and it's good to see you, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on.
Of course. Your guys' schedule is unique, and almost every sport is a two-semester sport at this point. But what used to be really more focused on the spring now seemingly is equally important in terms of the fall or spring. So let's start by just simply walking us through how the calendar works in Division I golf.
Yeah, so we have one long season with kind of a break in the middle.
Yeah.
And so we play about 5 events in the fall, and then we can spread it out a little bit more in the spring, about 6 events, and then our conference, which is very important. So we do a lot of flying in the spring. February and March, obviously cold, so we're doing Vegas, we're doing Alabama, Georgia, a lot of nice places, and be able to get out and play some golf.
So, like, for example, the next event on the men's side is in about 2 weeks, hosted by South Dakota State. Nobody's going to Brookings, South Dakota on purpose in early March, so South Dakota State is holding their event at Boulder City, Nevada, to kind of give you an idea.
Yeah.
And it looks like you try as best you can. Sometimes there's overlap and you can't avoid it, but you almost try to schedule a men's event up and then a women's event the next week. That way you are literally flying all of the time this time.
With coaching both the teams, it is a little bit of a long season,
Yeah.
but I want to spend as much time as I can with both squads and compete at a super high level. And I got a great team, and I love to just brag on them.
All right, so last weekend you were in Savannah, Georgia with the men's team. Tell me how that worked out.
Titus played pretty well, competed really well. The rest of the team, we didn't score very good. We're right on the water. We had winds up to 50 miles an hour, which proved to be pretty challenging that last day. But we're going to compete hard this weekend in qualifying and kind of see who goes the next time. So it's just a lot of competition and obviously a little rust as you kind of get going for the spring, but we'll get it going.
You referenced Titus. That would be Titus Boswell from Monrovia, who is the defending Horizon League champion. Tell us about Titus's game.
Man, Titus has just stepped his game up to a new level. In the fall, I think he was in the top 3-4 times, had a chance to win multiple events. I think he averaged 70.5. Really has taken his game to the next level. Just every area of the game, he is quality right now.
All right, so another young man I want to ask you about because I know how to say his last name because I can say yours. Tell me about coaching your son, Preston.
I'm telling you what, it has been an absolute blessing to have Preston on the team the last 2 years. He is a tough competitor. He loves to compete. And it's just been a joy. You know, that dynamic of being coach and also dad is a challenge, but it's also something that'll be forever in my memory banks and a great opportunity.
Because of your career and pursuing the professional golf rather than getting into coaching, are you almost getting to coach him more now than you did when he was younger? What is that balance like?
It is a very challenging balance.
Yeah.
And like yesterday, we had an unbelievable, we got to spend an hour and a half together. We talked strategy, we talked some swing technique, and we just had a blast going through that. And he just recently accepted a teaching position after he graduates. And it's just exciting to see him grow and develop and to be a part of it.
All right, women's team, they're a couple of weeks removed from their last match. They're coming up and playing early this week, but you went out to Arizona couple of weeks ago. Tell us about that trip.
Oh man, it was a fantastic trip, except I was sick the whole time. And so that was tough, but what a great place to start off. The weather was fantastic. The girls got a chance to hit a lot of good golf shots. We got better as the week went on, which was good. And now they're getting ready to head down to Alabama this weekend.
Did you get out there early enough where you could go to the waste management and have some fun at the 16th green?
We could have, but we were there in time, but we did not. Yeah, we did
Probably
not. We were out trying to chip and putt a little bit.
Ed Holdaway off camera is appreciating the fact that you didn't go that direction.
Right. Well, we're going to Vegas, so we got to watch them over there as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fun time.
What is unique about your women's side is on the men's side, a lot of the key players you talk about are locals. And again, Titus being from Monrovia, you've gone the international route on the women's side. Tell us about that.
Yeah, sometimes we get some great resumes. People love our school and what they have to offer. And so being able to kind of double that up and they can play golf and have that great, degree behind them is something that a lot of these internationals are looking for. And so it's an opportunity for us to grab some really nice resumes from abroad.
And again, several local players on the team as well, but I know kind of the top players you've got so far on your squad have been international. One of them is a freshman from China. Tell us about her.
Yeah, Sherry. I'm telling you what, everybody on the women's team, the men's team, they just love her. She is just a bright ball of sunshine everywhere she goes. She's always smiling, bringing a great attitude, fun to be around. It's fun. It's intoxicating. But she it just loves her game. She wants to play professionally. And so we're kind of pushing her on that program to keep developing and getting a little bit better. But yeah, she is tremendous.
All right. So for those that might be watching from outside of the Indianapolis area, as February days go, we're pretty happy today.
Yeah.
Temperatures are going to be in the 50s. There was some snow this morning, but south of us. So literally, if the weather's good enough, what is an average practice day like for your teams, knowing you're not traveling, you're not competing today? What are you trying to get done today from a golf standpoint?
So anytime it's above 40, we're trying to do a few things outside, whether it's making 200 5-footers, whether it's just pitching the ball 20 yards and using some of our indoor stuff at the same time to kind of get warm and to really kind of stretch out a little bit. But we just try to accommodate with what the weather's given us per day, but we get out as much as possible.
All right, so when you're doing indoor work, is that here on campus or do you go facility offsite?
Southern Dunes has 3 TrackMan bays, and we have our own TrackMan studio upstairs as well. And so we're able to take advantage of that. So as we did some qualifying this spring, actually indoors, we did some sim qualifying. We did some strokes gained approach type of competition. And then we also did wedge combine. So kind of hit some main areas. Strokes gained approach, which is basically your iron shots into the green. Huge indicator of how you're going to play if you can hit some quality shots there.
This is a question, we could ask pros, because let's face it, this time of year, on a Monday or Tuesday night, you could watch, TGL. They're going to start a women's TGL. Just now, how realistic is the indoor element of the game? And from a coaching standpoint, what does that do for you, especially as a Northern Golf School?
It is different. I think being on the indoor. Now, the technology is fantastic.
Yeah.
But they do have to interpret some data when you're hitting it into a screen that's, 10 feet in front of you. It is not perfect, but it is really good. And I think what it does is it gets us competitive. We have to compete against one another. We have to try to find a way to get a good score. We have to find a way to do something. And I think that's the important part of it, is just that competitive aspect.
All right, so indoor hitting at Southern Dunes.
Yeah.
When you're playing outdoors, is there a home course? What are some of the tracks you guys get to play on a regular basis?
So we utilize a lot of tracks, but for home courses, we have Eagle Creek, we have Southern Dunes, we have Riverside Golf Academy for the wintertime, being able to hit a lot of golf balls.
Which is just up the street from campus, by the way.
Correct, yeah.
That works very well.
Yep, and then we have our own little studio that's at Southern Dunes, but we also rent out a bay during the week, Monday through Friday. We have opportunity to be in their sim bays as well. And they do a very good job. They treat us fantastic. We also utilize a lot of the different courses. Like tomorrow, we're going to go to Trophy Club. A shout out to them. They take good care of us, and fantastic place. If you get a chance, it's in Lebanon to go play as well.
All right. So what's unique about this sport is that, normally leading into a conference tournament, like for example, basketball plays a double round robin. You play 20 conference games to figure out exactly where you kind of stack up.
Yeah.
How often do you see your conference teams before you all head to Florida to play a conference championship in April?
Yeah, we see each other quite a bit. I think we had 3 or 4 conference teams this last week for our guys. And then we had, I think, about 4 or 5 of them probably at the Phoenix event. And so we'll see them quite often throughout and a lot of our conference teams host, and we're going to be going to some of their events as well. So it definitely gives us a chance. And I point out, like, hey, we got conference teams here. We got to show them what we're made of.
All right. League-wise, who are you trying to challenge for a championship by the time you get to Florida at the end of April?
Youngstown on the women's side has been very strong. They have a lot of international players. We have some great players. We got to play a little better.
Yeah.
On the guys' side, it's pretty wide open right now. If we can have, just that second or third person kind of step up, kind of with Titus, we'll find ourselves in a position like we did last year and having a chance to win. And that's what we're really trying to focus on.
Women's team is heading to Northern Alabama. They are playing on Monday and Tuesday. The men's team heads out to Nevada the following week. Then women's team goes to that same event the week after that. Again, IUIndyJags.com always has more information. Thanks for the time, my friend.
Hey, thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.
Jimmy Broce, again, men's and women's golf coach at IU Indianapolis, kind enough to join us. Our next guest is not a coach. If you want to help the program, he's somebody you need to know. Joel Smith will join us as we'll wrap up this edition of the IU Indy Coaches Show right here on the ISC Sports Network.
We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever. When we ride, we can ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride. We gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever. When we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride. We gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
This is Paul. He loves running, music, and DIY home projects. In fact, he's remodeling his kitchen thanks to a home equity line of credit from Indiana Members Credit Union. They connected him with a loan officer, got him approved at a great low rate, and made it easy for him to make his monthly payment from anywhere thanks to IMCU's digital banking. Looks like Paul can do it all with a little help from IMCU.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
Welcome back for a final time for our fancy word alert here. Penultimate edition of the IU Indy Coaches Show for the 2025-26 season. My name is Greg Rakestraw, and this gentleman has played some basketball in his background, but he's not coaching right now at IU Indianapolis. No, he's in charge of raising dollars for the IU Indy athletic program, amongst other things. It's Joel Smith, assistant AD in charge of development. One of the newest members of our staff joined us in October of 2025. In fact, I think you and I met here, before a show for the first time, correct?
Second week on the job. I think we sat right over there, had lunch.
Exactly. And I'm just kidding. Joel, it's good to see you. I get an email from Joel before every home game reminding me, hey, Jaguar fans, hospitality, VIP lounge, etc. If you give the elevator speech of what your job entails, where do you start?
Yeah, I start with raising dollars. I start with revenue. I am the assistant athletic director for development, and so that includes sponsorships, donors, fundraising, those kinds of things across all of our sports. Obviously, men's basketball carries a lot of that weight, and we have our VIP hospitality area at those games. But every single one of our sports, raising money and getting people engaged and involved, alumni, people, fans, you name it, anybody can be engaged with us.
I'm not sure our department has ever been in a better situation from a sponsorship standpoint than we are now. But yet, in any level of business, and it's certainly the case these days in college athletics, it is never enough. So in terms of sponsorships available, men's basketball, women's basketball, any of our intercollegiate sports, where do you kind of begin that conversation with a prospective business partner?
You know, right now is a really significant and interesting time for us, especially with our sponsors, because of the James T. Morris Arena.
Of course.
So production is going great. We somehow managed to avoid major delays with all that weather, and hopefully we'll continue to be ready to go for next October tipping off there. But there are no shortages of opportunities to be a sponsor in the James T. Morris Arena. At lower levels, at high levels, you name it, we want people to be involved. We want the community to get engaged, companies, restaurants, businesses to be involved with that. So that's kind of where we're starting right now. That's the main thing that's going on, the biggest attraction, and is generating a lot of interest and enthusiasm as well.
And frankly, it's kind of a multifaceted, multi-pronged approach. There's the standard advertising of, hey, we want to get your logo on screen, on signage, we want you to buy a suite, et cetera. But frankly, there's also donor opportunities, things like naming offices and wings and stuff like that. So kind of from that element, what are some of the things available that potentially our listeners, donors, fans, et cetera, might want to take advantage of?
Absolutely. Similarly, in the new arena, there's all kinds of different opportunities for donors to get involved, naming rights, and everything from lockers in the locker rooms at roughly $1,000 a year, or all the way up to the court and entryways and offices. My office will have a name on it eventually at some point. So
other than yours, you get your name and somebody else's name is on it too?
Other than mine, yes.
Name twice. Yes.
Athletic director office with Joel Smith in there. So there's all kinds of opportunities at all kinds of entry points and entry levels. We want people to feel like they have an opportunity to be engaged with Jaguars athletics.
Frankly, we could spend this entire conversation talking about the gym, the JIM as we're going to call it. If the soccer stadium is the Mike, named after Mike Carroll, it is frankly fitting that we call this the gym, names after Jim Morris, because if you knew Jim, calling him James T. Morris just would not sound right. He did a lot of wonderful things and was not about formality. It was about getting the job done, which is one of the reasons why we are so thankful to honor him. Speaking of Mike, one of the biggest days from a fundraising standpoint for the athletic program for generations has been the Michael A. Carroll Golf Outing, which comes up on May 21st. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's great that you just had Coach out here talking golf, because it's that time of year, right? We are excited. May 21st, Maple Creek Country Club is
East
our
side
golf
of Indianapolis.
outing this year. Yep, they've been a great sponsor. We've been doing our golf outing there for a long time. So registration actually isn't even open yet, and I already have about a third of our foursomes locked in. So we're kind of expecting that to go quickly. So if people are interested, they should reach out, because it's a big item for us, and is always a great event.
By the way, a wonderful time of year to have a golf outing, because it's not crazy hot yet. At least we hope so. By May 21st. It's a little busy in my Indy 500 schedule. But from a temperature standpoint, I love the idea of having a May golf outing. A couple of things I wanted to hit on. And we just had Justin Amburgy on the show. You've got a Chuck Keppen Legacy Scholarship for track and field coming up. Tell us about that.
Yes. Yeah. So actually, I think maybe the day before I met you, Greg, it was my first week on the job. I got lunch with Coach Keppen. And it was a fantastic time, and really kind of entered me into the Jaguars family.
Yep.
But we have the Chuck Keppen Legacy Scholarship going on. So just this past weekend, we had a get together for Chuck's 80th birthday, which was a fantastic time. Chuck obviously is an institution around here and had so much success with our men's cross country and track and field. So we launched that this weekend and had a great time getting together with some alumni, family, and friends at Chuck's. But we're still raising money. We'd love to endow that scholarship so that Chuck's name, legacy, and his impact on athletes here with Jaguars Athletics can go on for years and years to come.
All right, well, good ways was to contact you in a matter of moments. Let's bring it back to basketball. And again, so much of the focus, and understandably so, is getting ready for the new arena and having that ready. October is the hoped and expected completed date, which means we'll have it kind of in the middle of the volleyball season. But again, kind of the line of demarcation for men's and women's hoops would be the first week of November to host season openers and things like that. While you're working on that, you also are trying to cultivate those relationships with alumni. And you had a big alumni day just 3 weeks ago. The last win against Cleveland State, February the 7th. What was that afternoon like for you?
It's such a gift. It's like you mentioned, I played basketball at the collegiate level, and it's such a gift to get different generations of players together all at one time, all in one day. So we had almost 40 alumni come out to our alumni basketball game with a great win over Cleveland State, and having guys that played and graduated 5-6 years ago mixed in with some of our metros and guys that call Bob coach still. It just was a fantastic afternoon and was a great chance for us to hopefully build a little bit of momentum going into the gym, getting some of that buy-in from some of those alumni.
I'm friends with so many of those guys that have known them now for 25, 30 years, the guys that played for Bob that date back to the 80s, the guys that were around in my days of traveling with the team from 2000 through 2009. And so to kind of see that tapestry is really cool. We've got one gentleman, I'm going to look off camera. Ed, his name is Broce, right, that comes in from Virginia. So we have an alum that played on our first team back in the mid-'70s. He lives in Virginia. He's here almost every game.
He was here last night.
That is jaw-dropping to me that he, in his retirement, you know what I want to do? I want to fly to Indianapolis in the winter and go see as many men's basketball games and sit courtside as possible. I think that's so cool.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Bruce was here last night. He'll be here on Saturday. Yeah. He's a regular at our games.
All right, so the best way to wrap this up, because again, there are so many ways you can get involved, whether it's from the NIL standpoint, whether it's from the advertising standpoint on programs, frankly, such as the one you're watching right now. But there's the old standby. That is the Jaguars Athletics Fund. What would you like to tell people about that?
Absolutely. Yep. The Jaguars Athletics Fund gives Luke Basso, the athletic director, the most flexibility and room to enhance the student-athlete experience across all of our sports. So we're always taking tax-deductible gifts to the Jaguars Athletic Fund. In fact, we actually just updated our benefits chart and kind of our donor society levels on the website. You can find that on IU Indy Jaguars Athletics website. So take a look at that. It's a great way to get involved, get engaged, and have some fun while you do it. And yeah, we are always interested in expanding that Jaguars Athletic Fund family.
IUIndyJags.com. Simply search for Jaguars Athletic Fund. You will find where you need to go. Thanks, my friend. I'll see you on Saturday.
Great to see you.
For Joel Smith, for Justin Amburgy, for Jamie Broce, and for Ed, who I referenced off camera 3 times, and Emily Reese, who doesn't like when we mention her name because it was her birthday this week. So happy birthday to Emily as well. For our entire ISC Sports Network staff, we'll do this again in 13 days. Our season finale episode for season number 3 comes your way on Wednesday, March 11th. Thank you, KeyBank. Thank you, KSM. Thank you to Central Indiana Ford dealers. Thanks to you for watching on the ISC Sports Network.
We gon' push it to the limit, we gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever, when we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. It's together we ride, we gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle, like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever. When we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. And together we ride. We gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever. When we ride, we gon' ride together. So together we ride, certified. And together we ride. We gon' push it to the limit. We gon' rise together, side by side to the finish. Down the ride forever.